I just can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
But I'll put your hands on you, give you real black eyes. Come on, don't do that. And that's the truth. You could.
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know if he a comedian.
You really gotta be bold or just plain reckless if you're gonna take shots at Ice Cube. The same Ice Cube who gave us no Vaseline. And yet, that's exactly what Aries Spears did. Out of nowhere, he popped off on Big Boy's Neighborhood, trashing Cube's rap career, his movies, and even his place in hip-hop history. Straight disrespect. Aries called Ice Cube trash, not only as a rapper, but also as an actor. That hit deep, and of course, Cube caught wind of it. He clapped back hard, calling Aries irrelevant, not funny, and basically said he ain't even close to cracking the top 10 in black comedy. And let's be real, when Ice Cube says you're not funny, that's a cold verdict. But then, oh man, then 50 Cent stepped in. You know it's a wrap when 50 jumps into the mix. That man lives for roast sessions. He saw the clip and couldn't resist. He immediately started clowning Aries Spears because if there's one thing 50 loves, it's dragging somebody who's already slipping. And the craziest part, this whole mess started from a chill convo, just a regular segment, talking rappers, doing barbershop rankings. But Aries, he couldn't keep it casual. He had to go rogue.
Cube is a motherfucker. I can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
Really?
He's the same.
How much time we got left here? Because should I just tell him to leave now? Or?
The moment Cube's name came up, he didn't flinch. He fired shots, and that was just the warm-up. Because next, Aries had the nerve to disrespect It Was a Good Day, a song that's straight up legendary on the West Coast. Even Big Boy's co-host tried to save the moment.
I don't think that...
I hate the most. If it comes on, I want to shoot the radio. Today was a good day.
He laughed nervously and tried to steer the convo in a safer direction. But Aries, nah, he doubled down. Out of nowhere, he dropped this bizarre impersonation of Ice Cube as a gynecologist.
He goes, here's Ice Cube as a gynecologist. Hey, Miss Jenkins, I looked at your chart. Now get up on that thigh.
That's racist. I don't know how it's racist, but what you just did is racist.
And the punchline? Straight up cringe. It was so off, the whole room froze for a second. You could feel the discomfort. Aries chuckled at his own joke, but nobody joined in.
Not the greatest lyricist. He was energy. He was passion. He made you feel him. If that said, tear the club up, you wanted to tear the club up. Dear mama, you wanted to hug your mama. When you think about lyricism, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, my lyrics, spitter.
Not one laugh. That's when it became crystal clear. He wasn't just clowning, he was targeting. Like mocking Cube once wasn't enough, he kept pushing it past the line. Big Boy attempted to clean it up again, tried redirecting the conversation, but Aries kept swerving into wild territory. And just when you thought he couldn't stir more chaos, boom! He took a jab at Tupac. Yup, he really went there. So now it wasn't just Cube. Aries was coming for the entire West Coast legacy.
Comments. Now, when people talk about, you ask anybody, no matter where their region, you know, give me a top 5 rappers. Pac's usually always in that list. Right. I don't ever put Pac up there with the top rappers.
That's how you get canceled out here. You don't cross those lines and expect the industry to forget. And the wildest part, Aries Spears knew exactly what he was doing.
I saw a comedian speaking kind of bad about you, man.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know if he...
He didn't slip. He chose this route. Backlash hit quick. One fan posted, I love Aries' skills, but bro, the Ice Cube slander is a no-no. And this right here is exactly why Aries Spears has no business trying to say Cube or Pac weren't lyrical. Like seriously, who gave him that pass? Some people are saying he's just mad because New York lost the crown to the West Coast back in the late 80s and early 90s. That West Coast wave hit hard, and it clearly still stings for some folks. But what Aries definitely didn't expect was for the actual legends he disrespected to clap back. Usually, icons like that don't even bother. They ignore the noise, let the nobodies talk, and keep it moving. Not this time. Ice Cube stepped up and responded like the OG he is. And he didn't just defend himself, he went straight for Aries' neck. questioned if Aries was even funny.
Nothing about you impresses him. From movies to rapping, nothing at all impresses him. I'm like, wow, like what?
Suckers usually don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that you know, they usually don't like me when they coming from that angle. That's cool though. You know, everybody got their opinion and they all stink. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's cool. You know, he entitled to his opinion. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, I don't think he on anybody's list of top 10 comedians, you know what I mean, in the black community for sure. I don't even know if he's on the register.
Even relevant, even real in the black comedy scene. And honestly, a lot of folks agreed. Cube didn't hold back. He tore down Aries' whole career in just a few lines. And let's be real, Cube knows exactly what he's doing. This ain't new for him. This is the same man who helped shape NWA, dropped one of the greatest diss tracks ever, created Friday, and built the Big Three League from the ground up. The man's a certified mogul. But somehow, Aries still wasn't done. Even after legends clowned him, even after fans flamed him on every platform, Aries showed up on Vlad TV, still talking wild, still doubling down like none of it fazed him. Apparently dissing Cube once just wasn't enough for him. But here's what Aries completely missed. This whole thing stopped being about Ice Cube a long time ago. Because somewhere in a high-rise hotel suite, probably kicking back with a glass of his own liquor, 50 Cent was watching it all unfold on his phone. And guess what? Aries had thrown his name in the mix too. Now at first people assumed 50 would just brush it off. He's got a million things going on. Running Power, BMF, pushing his liquor empire, owning TV deals, jumping on tour. Dude stays booked and busy. So it was a shock when 50 posted a video, shady as hell, calling someone delusional without even dropping their name. But fans knew exactly who he was talking about, Aries Spears. It was vintage 50, low-key, slick, and ruthless. And it had the internet buzzing. Like, why would this of all things get 50's attention? Well, here's the part most people forget. 50 Cent and Ice Cube have a long-standing respect. Cube was showing love to 50's movie hustle way before Hollywood took him seriously. And 50? He's always given Cube his flowers in interviews. Aries is exactly the kind of loudmouth comic that 50 Cent lives to roast, always barking, but got nothing current to back it up. And once 50 sees that combo, oh, it's over. He came in fully loaded. He dropped that savage bar. Check my temperature, I'm ice cold. The hood left the left side of my chest froze. Need help with your bills? I'll write you a referral-ish. You might even get you a love contract. That wasn't just shade. That was a clinic in disrespect. Naturally, Aries felt attacked. So what did he do? He lashed out again, going on another emotional rant, this time directly aimed at Cube. You could tell he was still hurt from Cube's first response. But instead of owning it or letting it go, Aries kept running his mouth and made it worse. Because then came the real contradiction. In the same breath, Aries tried to clean it up by saying he respects Ice Cube as a man, but also doesn't think Cube has ever done anything impressive. Ever. Like what? That's not keeping it real. That's just flailing. That's when the dragging really started. People weren't mad about the opinion. They were mad about the flip-flop, about him trying to play victim after talking wild. One fan wrote, "You can't throw shots and get mad when they fire back." Another said, "You can have an opinion, but after that skit, G, you're not valid." Ice Cube's a made man. But this time, it hit Aries deep. This wasn't just some online roast, it dug into the darkest part of his past. Suddenly, the jokes stopped being funny. The internet started dragging up the one thing Aries hoped people had forgotten, the lawsuit with Tiffany Haddish. Back in 2022, both Aries Spears and Tiffany got hit with a lawsuit that had everybody shook. It wasn't just controversy, it was disturbing. The accusations involved grooming, all tied to a so-called comedy sketch that crossed every possible line. In the skit, Aries played a creepy adult left alone with a child character, and the camera focused on him in ways that had people downright uncomfortable. And it didn't stop there, it got worse. Twitter exploded. People were furious. Even the Shade Room dropped the footage, and folks were horrified. It wasn't funny, it wasn't satire. It was a PR nightmare. The legal case was eventually settled, and the video got pulled from every platform. But that stain on Aries' name, it never really faded. People didn't forget, they just waited. And what did Aries do after all that? After being dragged through the mud, he ran right back to Vlad TV. At some point, people started pointing out the obvious. Aries Spears was popping up on Vlad TV more than Vlad himself. Every other month, he's back on that couch venting about how he's been blackballed, whining about how he should be as big as Kevin Hart. It became his routine. Show up, complain, repeat. Fans noticed the pattern quick. Aries wasn't trending for his comedy. He wasn't making waves with new projects. His name only came up when he was stirring drama, dropping bitter hot takes, or dragging up old scandals, hoping someone still cared. Instead of working, he was just talking loudly. And that's not even the whole story. Behind the scenes, Aries Spears had already built a messy reputation. Former co-stars and castmates have spoken out, saying he was hard to work with, always trying to outshine others and constantly bringing ego into every room. That difficult label doesn't just come from nowhere. Look, nobody's saying he isn't talented. The man can do impressions, he can read a crowd, sure, but he never got his Chappelle moment. He never had that breakthrough that puts you in the Comedy Hall of Fame. And that kind of resentment, it festers. Now let's flip it. Why did this beef crash and burn so hard for Aries? Because when you take shots at Ice Cube, you're not just dissing a rapper, you're swinging at a pillar of the culture. Ice Cube isn't just a rapper, actor, or mogul. He's part of the blueprint. You don't come for someone like that unless you got a legacy just as strong. And Aries Spears? He doesn't. Not even close. Cube helped shape the sound of the West Coast. He wrote for NWA, launched a solo career that flipped the industry, and built a film empire off pure vision. He's respected across generations, not because he begged for it, but because he earned it. Meanwhile, Aries has been stuck in this loop, popping up in interviews, playing the underdog card, throwing shots at dudes way above his level. But when you go after someone like Cube, people don't just see it as hate, they see it as jealousy. And that's what turned this whole beef against him. And instead of gaining support, Aries got roasted. The comment sections flipped on him. People were reposting old clips of his failed jokes, past controversies, awkward moments, everything. And just like that, he became the punchline in a drama he started. Worse, Aries tried to spin it like he was the victim. But you can't beg for clout and then cry foul when the heat hits back. Now, the saddest part, Aries could have had something. He had talent. He had timing. At one point, people really believed he was next up. But instead of building, he chose bitterness. Instead of focusing on his craft, he leaned into controversy, thinking shock value would bring him relevance. But here's the truth. No matter how loud you talk, it means nothing if people don't respect you. And Aries Spears, he lost that respect a long time ago. This whole Ice Cube mess just exposed it on a bigger stage. And let's not forget, this didn't help his career. It buried it deeper. No bookings, no buzz, no brand deals, no comedy specials, just reposted memes and people clowning him. Even casual fans who once supported him were saying, man, this ain't it. Meanwhile, Ice Cube didn't even have to say much. A couple lines, a calm clapback, and the whole internet knew what time it was. Because when a legend speaks, they don't have to yell. Cube's silence spoke louder than Aries' entire rant. And now Aries is stuck, fighting for a spotlight that doesn't want him anymore. Still talking wild on Vlad TV, still trying to be heard, but nobody's really listening. And now, Aries Spears is sitting in the exact position he swore he never would, clowning himself in front of the entire culture. This was never just about Ice Cube. It was about a man unraveling in real time, thinking controversy could replace consistency, and mistaking loud opinions for legacy. Cube didn't need to destroy Aries. He let Aries do it all by himself. And that's the real damage. Because once you lose the public's respect, there's no skit, no interview, no rant that can bring it back. Fans remember how you carried yourself when the pressure hit, and Aries folded like a lawn chair. Even comedians who once shared stages with him started backing away. Not because of one bad joke, but because Aries made disrespect his brand. You can't be bitter, messy, and divisive, and still expect people to cheer for your comeback. It doesn't work like that. Meanwhile, Cube is still moving with grace, still expanding his empire, still inspiring new generations, and he didn't have to scream or post paragraphs. He dropped a few slick lines and got right back to business. That's what legends do. No Vaseline didn't just make noise, it's still ranked as one of the top 3 diss tracks of all time. And Friday? That's not just a movie, it's a cultural blueprint. It redefined black comedy, gave us legendary characters, and became a straight-up rite of passage in hip-hop culture. And then there's the Big 3 League, a whole basketball empire Cube built from scratch, now backed by real NBA legends and major investors. But way before all that, Cube was penning verses for Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, the whole NWA lineup, ghostwriting classics before he was even old enough to legally drink. That's impact. Now compare that to Aries Spears. His biggest cultural footprint, a few funny impressions on Mad TV and some stand-up clips that aged like milk. And now, he's known for dissing legends on podcasts and going viral for all the wrong reasons. This is exactly why fans didn't hesitate. They sided with Cube immediately. And here's the kicker. Right when all this heat was boiling over, Ice Cube posted a teaser cast list for the final Friday movie. And guess who wasn't on it? Aries Spears. Maybe nobody ever promised him a role, but the timing spoke volumes. Fans clocked it instantly. Cube was sending a message loud and clear. Aries can mimic 100 voices, but he's never getting cast where it counts. He wanted to go viral, and he did, but not for his talent, not for his comedy. He's trending because two legends looked straight at him and called him a nobody, and not a single soul disagreed. If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. Can Aries Spears ever recover from this flop? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.